of making the vision clear. My name is Maribel Chima, and today I want to talk to you about something that we rarely make our children know about. Yes, I want to talk to you about self awareness. A lot of times, as parents, we do not help our children understand that they need to work in purpose early. Yes, we don't let our children understand that they need to work in purpose. We don't help them understand that they need to know themselves, right, for them to understand their purpose on earth. They need to know themselves for them to understand what they are capable of. If children are made to understand early about their self, are made to understand themselves early, then we would have positioned these children, would have positioned our children, right, for a journey of ease or a journey of purpose. When we introduce our children to who they are, or we help them discover themselves, we point them to understanding their role in their lives and the purpose for which they were created. My name is Maribeth Chima, and yes, I am the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle and the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. So I work with young children. I mentor young children, really young children, children between ages 5 and 10. And in one of my programs, so usually I get this a lot, not just in one of our programs. I get this a lot when assertive young children come into the academy or the mastermind circle. So I get them asking questions, sorry. I get them asking lots of questions. And one of those times, one of the children, because we talk a lot about purpose and talk a lot about what God has created us for. And so in one of those sessions, sorry, Mary, all right, we talk a lot about what God created us for. And in one of those sessions, a child said to me that I don't know what I'm good at, right? I'm constantly asking the children questions like that. What do you think you are good at? What do you think is your superpower? We let the children understand that there is something inside of you that is unique to you. There is that thing that you do so well that when you do it, you're happy doing it. When you do it, it doesn't come out as ordinary. It comes out, better than most people do it. But apart from that, when you do it, you get a deep sense of satisfaction from doing it. So we help point the children to looking at that, looking inward and looking at their lives to see what that thing is in their life. So I remember this particular girl, and she had said that she didn't know what it was that she was good at. She said that, Mary, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I love to do. I don't know what I enjoy doing, and all of that. And so we went into, a question and reflection session. At the end of that session, she agreed that she loved crafts, right? She loved to turn, nothing into something. Right. So anytime she sees, just like my daughter, every time she sees, an item that is attractive or sees a piece that she's curious about, she begins to think of what she can make out of it. I wrote a post the other day and I said, my daughter sees every empty box, every stick, every fancy looking thing as a project. The moment she sees it, she begins to think of what she can create with it and begins to talk about what she can make out of it. And every time, she gets a new thing, I know that the afternoon is engaged. As in for her, she forgets about every other thing. She forgets about TV and every other thing. And you see her trying to make something out of that, that item or that scrap that she has found. So every empty box, every scrap, every interesting item is a project. Now, for this child, she didn't think about it before we started having the conversation. And then she agreed that, okay, she loves crafts and that she loves to help her friends. So sometimes the children have these, simple things or seemingly simple things that they do, and they don't attach anything to it. If they also do not have parents or a support system or people in their lives who can see or make them see that some of these things that look ordinary are not ordinary. The fact that it comes easy to you doesn't mean that it comes easy to everyone, you know. So for you, it may be as simple as, oh, I love to help people. Until you go out there and you realize that people struggle with helping other people. People struggle with looking outside themselves, right? If it's not me, 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 they're not ready. There are people who are in that space. So don't take it for granted that you are that person, right, that can go out of your way to support other people and all of that. So she said she loves to help her friends, she loves to help people in school. And then lastly, she, after much, after enough gist, and all of that, she also mentioned that she likes to tidy her stuff in her room. So her room is most times looking really very tidy. So she loves to organize her space. Now, when I spoke with her mom about this, coincidentally, the mom, pointed the same thing, right? Is it coincidentally? Okay, anyway, mommy pointed the same thing, that these were the things that her daughter, right, is good at. So that is it. Unknown to her, to this child, and without thinking of it as anything serious, right? The mom didn't think of it as anything serious. That was it. These were some of the superpowers, or these were some of the things, or these are some of the that the child had that she didn't even know. Some of the strength that she had that she didn't even know she had, and that her mom didn't even think it was anything to reckon with, or anything, right, to think of or act, or use as a strength that can be sharpened or can be used to help the child grow in other areas. Now, this is why we say self awareness is very critical in the life of a young child. A child who is self aware understands their strength. A child who is self aware also understands their weaknesses. A child who is self aware understands their feelings and their emotions. They're able to say, or they're able to look at what they're going through per time and understand where it's coming from. A lot of the times, you ask a young child, what's wrong with you? And the child goes, nothing. You ask a young child, how are you feeling right now? Fine. So that's because they don't have the language. They don't know how to look inward and place their finger on what exactly it is that they are going through at that time. They need to be shown how. They need to be taught. They need to be guided to begin to understand their feelings per time, name those feelings per time, and then know how to manage those feelings per time. Not many children are capable of knowing and owning their feelings, their emotions, or whatever it is that they are going through. As I said, they need to be taught. Sorry, they need to be taught how to manage these emotions or how to deal with them. Sorry, there's a phone somewhere that is, let me just deal with it. Sorry, there was an alarm somewhere around me that was distracting. All right, sorry about that. So this is it. Self-awareness is a huge, huge, huge thing that we neglect as parents. We don't think our children should become this as early as possible. And it's one thing that is very important in the child's growth and development. If you're going to raise a child who understands who they are, who understands their identity. You're going to raise a child who understands the place of purpose and understands their role and their purpose in this life. Then it begins with self awareness. And the earlier we get our children to be self aware, the better for them. This is one of our biggest goals in the Mastermind Circle, right? I said at the beginning that we run a mentorship and okay, I didn't say that. But we run a mentorship and accountability program or system for young children between ages 5 and 10. And self-awareness is one of our biggest goal in the Mastermind Circle, because we want to raise children who are aware of who they are. We want to raise children who know who they are. Their identity is not lost. Children whose identity they are growing to to unfold every day, right? The child is in the place of knowledge when it comes to their identity. And so they get to know more about themselves every passing day because they are aware of themselves. Now, children who are like this are not easily swayed and they're not easily thrown, or they don't easily leave or forget themselves and take on other people because they are aware of who they are, right? So important to us in the mastermind circle, okay? And that's why we also make time every year, once in a year, to teach beyond the mastermind, where we get other children on board so that we can help them understand who they are. We can help them understand who they are becoming, and so help them know that there is something that they can do to become the best version of themselves. There's something that they can do to build themselves. There's something that they can do to become even more aware of who they are. There's something that they can do to promote all of the gifts and the talents that God has placed inside of them. And there is how they can stretch themselves to become what God has created them to be. We get them through the process of setting goals. Yes, we get them through the process of setting goals, planning. Okay, we start by getting them to even think and visualize, right? Think and visualize, what are my goals, or what are the things, based on who I know that I am, right? Based on who I am, based on who I am as a child of God, based on who I am as a child of my parents, based on who I am as an individual, based on my strength, based on my weaknesses. What is it that what is it that is my superpower? What is it that I am capable of? What capacity do I have as it is right now? So we get children, we start pointing children to know these things. In the mastermind, we say that the mastermind is the foundation ground. It is that place where we bring children to the light of who they are so that they begin to make baby steps towards every aspect of their life, towards self-awareness, towards every aspect of their life, basically. And so because our goal setting, planning, and vision workshop is an extension of what we do in the mastermind circle. We want to extend it beyond the circle and bring in more people because we want more families, right, to know that self-awareness is critical in the life of their children. So we want more children to become aware of themselves. We want more children to start walking that journey towards self-awareness, self-discovery, self-leadership. And it begins with, of course, getting them to know themselves, know their strength, know their weaknesses, and then begin to set goals that will help them become better in the places where they have weaknesses, that will help them sharpen even the strength that they have, that will help them build and hone the skills that they already have so that they can gain mastery in that area. Basically, we want to raise children who know that becoming is a journey and that process required that we keep trying, that we keep pushing, that we keep doing more and more, right? We want to raise children who are lifelong learners and who understand that it is when we learn that we become. It is when we learn that we become wiser. It is when we learn that we become people who can impact and change the world. So we want to do this beyond just the mastermind circle. We want to reach out to more people. And of course, we want to get even the children in the mastermind circle to push themselves a little more, right? And so this is why we started the vision workshop, right, 7 years ago. So we have the 7th edition of the goal setting and planning vision workshop coming up on the 15th and 16th of December. That is in 3 days' time. In 3 days' time, you can get your child on board to start this journey of self-discovery, self-leadership, right? And then owning their individuality. These are some of the things that we are going to be teaching, right, the children at that vision workshop. All right. Now, in the mastermind circle, we do this every time. We do this every day. We walk this journey with the children every day. And so in this vision workshop, it's our hope and our Is our hope and our dream that as many children as possible will come in so that they can begin to walk this journey as well. We want children to understand and embrace their strength. Right? We want more children to understand their strength and embrace those strengths, to know what it is that they have superpowers in, to know the things that they enjoy doing, to know the things that they do exceptionally well, to know the areas that they have potentials in so that they can begin to harness those potentials. We want parents to also be in sync with their children so that they are not pulling and dragging the children in areas where the children do not have interest or do not have strength. We want the parent and the children to walk this journey together so that they can discover themselves together, and so that way the child has the support that the child needs. We want children to embrace their weaknesses as well, and so not be ashamed of their weaknesses, because it is only what you agree that you're struggling with that you're able to do something about. So in this workshop, we are also going to help the children to start identifying the areas of their life where they are struggling. All right, and so we will guide them to also set goals in those areas so that they can begin to improve themselves, because we know that with practice and consistency we can grow in whatever area of our lives that we choose to work on. Whatever we give energy is what will grow, is what we are give energy to, is what we practice consistently, is what we put on our radar as important, that will actually become that will actually grow, basically. Right, so we have the children to recognize their weaknesses as well, and of course not to be ashamed of those weaknesses. And so we also guide the parents to see the children's weaknesses as gray areas, so that the parents can go back to the drawing board and see, where did we miss it, what did we do wrong, and of course what can we do from where we are. All right, so the vision workshop is not just for your child, it's also for you, dear parents, because we have a full, robust, right, parent session where we'll have a panel of experts, and then parents will be there to take notes so that you can support your child. In everything that we do, we make it known that it is a partnership with parents to support their children, because we work with these young children, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. It's important that the parent is involved and that we are all in sync if the goal is to support the child to be the best version of themselves. All right. We also want the children to understand their feelings and learn how to manage those feelings. So in this vision workshop, we would also be pointing children to the importance of understanding their feelings per time, being able to name those feelings per time, and of course being able to manage those feelings. Because if they are unable to manage their feelings, if they are unable to recognize their feelings, then they are going to have problem with their character. All right, we have seen children who do so well academically, but when it comes to their character is nothing to write home about. So we want to raise wholesome children who are growing in every area of their lives. They're growing in every area. Basically, we have 10 dimensions, 10 areas where we focus on when we are working with children. We call them our signature 10 dimensions of learning. So we want to ensure that the children are growing along these 10 dimensions. Okay, we share this a lot in the mastermind circle. The parents know this and they work towards this with us. Okay, we'll be sharing some part of this even in the vision workshop. So you don't want to miss it. You want to be there with your child. All right. You don't have to be there for all of the sessions, but you need to be there as a parent. You need to be at the parent session. That's our last session on the 16th at 7 p.m. You need to be there. It's going to be a full panel, of experts, and then of course I will be there. All right, and then for the children, we have sessions for the children. We have other young children, our mastermind pro. Yes, we raise children who become resourceful teenagers. So we have some of our teenagers who have passed through the mastermind circle and are building themselves, are growing, aware of their journey and making progress in that journey. So we bring them to come and support the younger ones, all right, and to come and share some of their experiences, not because they are perfect, but because they have become so aware of themselves that they are aware of their journeys, the journeys that they are going through, and of course, they are involved in the process of that journey. Very, very important, right? So these teenagers are going to be sharing also at the Vision Workshop. So yes, your 6 to 13-year-old needs to be in that room. All right, it begins on the 15th through the 16th of December. And yes, you need to jump in right now so that you get our early bird offer. You will not believe it. We had this program for free for an entire month. For an entire month, we had it for free for anyone who wanted to join. And then the early bird offer started in December. And even that is about to close, right? Because at the end of today, the early bird offer would also close. And so you have to pay the full fee for the Vision Workshop. So if I were you, I would jump in right now and take my place, right? Get your child on board the Vision Workshop. All right, the next thing we want to do is we want them to know what expressions, and this one is very important. We want them to know what expressions they can use to impact the world. Yes, this one is deep. We know we talk about this in the mastermind circle a lot, and I'm going to be talking about it, in the conference or at the conference, right? I'm sorry, at the Vision Workshop. A lot of times we are focused on, oh, I want my child to be this, I want my child to be that. But the truth about it is, it's the interest that your children have today. It's the superpowers that they have right from when they are young. We want them to recognize that those strengths that they have, those weaknesses that they are building into strength, all right, those superpowers that they have, those things that they do that they get a sense of fulfillment from. These are part of the purpose that God has created them for, because God has given them all of these talents and all of these gifts because God wants them to use them to be a blessing to the world. Now, when you are aware of the gifts and the talents, right, that you have, and you have worked them into mastery, then you begin to think of where is the place or where are the expressions through which I can be a blessing to the world. I can take this, all of this that is inside of me. What area, what career, what part of the world or what part of humanity can I take all that I have inside of me and express myself through? So you see, it's not a thing of I want to be a lawyer when I grow up. It's not a thing of I want to be a doctor because doctors are the one who get paid the most. No, it's a thing of this is who I am. These are the gifts and the talents that I have. This is what I have built over the years. This is how I have honed this and have become a master in this area because it is a gift that I did not waste. So therefore, where is it in the world that I can take this thing that I have and be a blessing? So it is because of what you have inside that you can now go and say, okay, I am a passionate person. I am a consistent person. I am an organized person. I am a compassionate person. I love to help people. Because of that, I will go to the hospital. I will go to the hospital and express myself right there as a medical doctor, just because I have this inside of me. If we begin to look at that and raise children to look at themselves in that light, we will not be pushing our children to places where they don't feel fulfilled. We will not have all the, people just doing everything that they do simply because of money. We will start operating from a place of fulfillment, from a place of impact, from a place of love for humanity. We will start operating from a place of a love of the things that we do. So the reason you have so many people who hate the jobs that they do, hate the careers that they are in, hate the courses that they study in school, hate the places that they are forced to go. The reason why we have more children rebelling, up and down the place, reason why families, parents and their children are not in sync is because we don't raise children from the scratch, from the word go, to understand these things and understand, their place basically in their life. So you say, I'm going to be talking to the children directly, I'm going to be breaking this down to the children. So even for nothing else, send your children to this workshop so that they can understand this, because this principle is so important if we're going to raise children who understand their purpose in this life. You don't want to raise children that every celebrity is a god too. You don't want to raise children who want to be like everybody else except the person that God has created them to be. Because now it is the picture, the flashy picture that they see, right? And the narrative that they hear around them that now determines what it is that they think their future should be, right? So these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about at the Vision Workshop. All right, now we would also get the children, right, to understand the habits that they need to start internalizing, or the habits that they need to build today that will enhance their growth, right, in the areas where they need to be a blessing to the world. Basically, what positive habits do I need to internalize today that will make me a better person? What positive habits do I need to internalize today that will make me become a person of impact? What positive habits do I need to internalize today that will make me a person of value? What positive habits do I need today that will help me navigate the world easily, right? As opposed to the negative habits that I am building today that will just only lead to destruction, or that will lead, to struggles. So these are the things. So we're going to be doing all of this, and we're going to be teaching the children all of this at that Vision Workshop. Okay, powerfully, we're going to be teaching them how to start making informed financial decisions, because in everything that we're talking about here, right, spiritual decisions, financial decisions, self-management and home management decisions, if we do not raise children who can be solid in these areas, it doesn't matter how well they do at school, it doesn't matter what other thing you give them in this life, right, in the name of giving them a good life. Okay, if the children are not groomed or nurtured, right, to grow and become intelligent in these areas, it doesn't matter all the things that you are giving them to give them a good life. All of that will go to waste if the children do not build themselves in all of these areas. And that's why we started the Vision Workshop. And that's why your child needs to be a part of it. All right. So your child will learn how to identify their strength, identify their weakness, and of course, they will learn to know who they are becoming. Have you registered your child for the Vision Workshop 7.0? If you have not, immediately this video goes up, please check in the comment section. Click the link right there, or use the detail right there to get your child on board. We have hundreds of children already seated and waiting for the 15th of December. Let your child be one of them. Thank you for joining me for this short, okay? It's a 30-minute session. So thank you for joining me again today. I'll be here again tomorrow at the same time. So let's make it a date at 12 p.m. tomorrow. Just join me tomorrow, where I will be sharing a little more. All right. If you got blessed by this session, or you have some takeaways from the sessions, share with us in the comment section. And of course, share with your friends and family so that they can also be a part of this. Thank you for joining me again. Have a fantastic rest of the day. And yes, where's my screen? Have a fantastic rest of the day. Bye for now. Bye.